about 2 or 3 years ago, I heard a piece, of all places. It's a guitar piece which a few guitarists played. It's a fairly new piece, written in the, I think, late 80s, early 90s. And I heard it, of all places, in Beijing, in China. I was in China about 3 years ago, and it was more or less a sort of combined social... I did play, but only through the guitar societies there, and I really went because I wanted to visit China. And I went with a English-Chinese friend of mine, Gerald Garcia, and we played some duets there, and we met all the guitarists in the different towns that we went to. And in Beijing, we met Professor Chen Zi, who's the guitar professor at the conservatory in Beijing, and we heard about 4 or 5 of his students, 2 or 3 girls in their teens, who were just absolutely phenomenal. And one of them played this piece called Koyunbaba. I had to detune quite a lot to show this, so I might...
maybe I should
do that.
Yeah.
And you'll know what I'm talking about.
Give us a running commentary of the tuning there.
Absolutely, right. Okay, well, taking from the normal E tuning. And it's quite interesting to know about this because it's also quite necessary when you're tuning in a concert. You have to know which one's to tune first because every string is different except the top string.
Right.
So first of all, I make an octave with the third string goes up to G sharp. Second string goes up a tone to C sharp from B. Fourth string comes down a half a tone to C sharp. Fifth string comes down a half tone to G sharp. And the sixth string goes down minor third to C sharp. So you have this wonderful C sharp minor tuning. About a tuning like this, and there's very few, if any, pieces that retune the guitar so fundamentally, is that it's not just the sound itself of the open strings, of course, but it's that all the chord shapes and that you get in that tuning are
strange,
just amazing, and very, very different and totally un-Spanish in sound. In fact, it's more like one of the traditional instruments from Turkey itself. And I mentioned Turkey, I should have mentioned that before, because Domeniconi, who's the composer, he's an Italian guitarist, but he lived and worked for many years in Istanbul, in Turkey, and is very, very affected by traditional Turkish music and the dances and songs and the instrumental forms. And that's what this has evolved from. So he is a 4-part piece, but he uses... He uses the open strings can sound, he builds them up. I don't want to play the whole piece now. But
we can play just some of the hot licks from
exactly, it. Exactly, hot licks. Well, basically, that intro I played you, and then later on you get... guitar goes out of tune all the time, of course, when you do this.
Now, is that piece very problematic to play it in concert? Will the guitar stay in tune?
It will, because I usually introduce it, and then funnily enough, I detune the strings much more. I was explaining what I was doing there more, but normally I would exaggerate what I was doing to get them to adjust quicker. And there are ways of doing it. Sometimes I have a second guitar, actually, which is quite nice.
Oh.
But anyway, he builds this piece up. It's just very, very exciting.